Hey, welcome back again. Today we're going to be talking some budget stuff. Primarily the difference in our budget from the coast in Salinas to here in Cuenca up in the Sierra. Basically, how we were able to adjust our budget accordingly to where we live.
So let's start off. Everyone wants to know cost of living. What is the cost of living compared to Salinas versus Cuenca? It depends on where you want to stay. It depends on your preference. It depends on location.
That's the big one.
Location. So what do you want what did we want? We had already lived in a condo. It was very nice. We enjoyed the condo lifestyle. This time we decided we wanted to live in a house. What is it that you want when you want to move into a house? Is it the same type of style that you have? Is it more modern? Is it
like that older look, especially like in the South American, Central American countries? That older, old maybe Spanish style house. They're really cool.
Yes.
I have a thing. I like them. I really like those. But is it the cost that you want, or is it in the place that you want? It may not be.
We decided, we still wanted a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and then it definitely need a washer and dryer. Those were the main things: 2 bedrooms, 2 baths,
and
washer and dryer,
and location. We just wanted it away
outside
of the central part of the city.
How does that compare with Salinas? Well, it just depends on what exactly you're looking for. You want the mountain view, city view, all of that plays a part. That wasn't a big issue or concern or requirement for us. We do have a mountain view. Do we have a city view? Depends on where you are.
Depends on where we are.
Yeah.
We're up on top of the mountain.
Yeah. But we were able to reduce our costs living in the house. Now, depending on where we were, we could have paid the same amount and got more amenities if we wanted to, but that wasn't a big thing.
Had we chosen to maybe move into like a condo here in Cuenca.
Or a house. Near Central.
Right. Because we could have, we've saved a lot of money by moving into the house here in Cuenca monthly. We could have paid the same amount that we were paying in Salinas because we were living on the Malecon.
Yeah.
On the beach.
Yeah.
And if we had paid the same amount here, then we probably would have, a few more amenities depending on where we were in Cuenca.
And like we said, location.
Right. Location it means a lot.
Right. Now our location isn't bad.
Yeah. We really like it actually.
It's quiet. Yeah. And I didn't realize how peaceful the quietness.
That's been kind of insane. Because we got used to the background noise on the Malecon of Salinas, and it's like leaving the city and just going camping, and you realize how quiet it is because you don't notice it. You don't notice the noise until you leave.
Right. So I think we dropped our cost down 30%. So
yeah. The third. Yeah, it's about third. Yeah.
Okay, so utilities, we actually pay less in our water and gas here in Cuenca than we did in in Salinas. Not the U.S. That's a big difference. In Salinas.
Yeah. Now gas is a little bit harder to pin down though because it was included it was in the building, so we didn't have to actually purchase gas separately.
No, so but it was when I got the bill, they would separate hot water, cold water from. Separately. It wasn't combined. Right. But if you combine them, it was way more than what we pay here just for water.
Right. And for context, way more means $25 as opposed to 15. We paid more in Salinas for water. However, we were only paying $23 to $25 a month. Here it's around 15.
So $10 cheaper.
Yeah.
So with the electricity in Salinas, in the cooler months, cost varies depending on if you're using the AC. So it can be anywhere from $16 to $30.
Yeah,
That's
for
in the
us.
cooler months.
That was
for
for
us.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when it got to the summer months, the cost started to rise. It can be anywhere from $65 to $100.
Yeah.
And that is, like we said,
That
based on
us, our use.
our use.
We knew people that paid more. Like people were paying over $200 because they ran the AC a lot more, or they had a bigger area to cool.
Yeah.
So it depends on how much you run the AC. It can jump up. We tried to minimize it as much as possible. So I think, if you average out a whole year, it was probably like, I don't know, $35-$40 a month if you average out the whole year, because there was sometimes we were only paying like
$16.
less than $20.
Yeah. So it varies. And like we say before, in Ecuador, we have split units. And you have a split unit on the wall in each room. And there are some condos and houses in Salinas that don't have a split unit. A split unit may not be in the living room where the kitchen is near, and in the summertime it can get warmer depending on when you're cooking, if you're cooking during the day or at night. We kept our balcony windows open majority of the time.
90% of the time.
We got a lot nice breeze from the ocean. It depends on your level of comfort, on what you want to spend, or how often you want to use your AC. Yeah. So for us, we adapted. It wasn't uncomfortable.
Yeah, we kept a fan in our living room. We had like 3 fans. So we kept a fan in the living room. So when we didn't want to run the AC during the day,
it was a nice breeze.
There was a decent breeze. We'd have the fan blowing on us. We're sitting on our sofa watching TV with the fan blowing. It was fine.
So what we're saying is, in Salinas, it varies depending on what time of the year it was. So in the cooler months, we paid anywhere from $16 to about $30. When it was warmer, it went from $65 to about $100.
Right, and that's only that much was really only like a 3-month period.
Yeah,
it's like
January, February,
March ish. Yeah, and I think the most we ever paid was $100.
Yes.
Exactly $100.
Yeah. So now in Cuenca, we have no AC, no split units, nothing.
Where we live.
Okay, all right. Yeah, where we live.
We don't want to speak for everybody.
Yeah, where we live, we have no AC units, no heating, nothing.
Right.
So for the last couple of months since we've been here, it's been about $20, and that's me cooking, just doing computer usage, just normal electric.
Clicking on lights, turn them off, whatever. Yeah.
So about $20. So that is a big difference. It hasn't been extremely warm.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some like hotter days.
Yes.
In the second level of our house, it gets a little warm, but it cools off in the evening. Yeah. And it's really kind of perfect. And the bottom level stays cool all the time. Yeah.
So we're saving about. It just depends on the month.
We'd have to average it out for a whole year to see exactly how much we're saving. But for the first 3 months we've been here, it seems less expensive when it comes to utilities. Mm-hmm. We did run into an issue just really recently where we knew there was an issue going on with the water, because when I went to go pay the water bill,
it was much higher.
Instead of being $15, it was a lot more.
Yes. And I would contact the landlord and I let her know, like, hey, something's not right because this is a big jump from what we were paying. And she called a plumber. They came out. And
this guy was good.
Well, a true plumber, not
old school.
Not the ones you find in the U.S. got to use all these different gadgets. Yeah. This guy actually just used one device and he listened and pinpointed where the leak was exactly.
Stuck his head on the ground to hear it, and he's like, "Oh, it's right here." He marked it with a pencil. Like, what's crazy is that when he came in, he showed me the meter and it was spinning and we had no water was running. So he's like, "Hey, you got a leak." He went to our water heater and he listened to it. He turned on the water. He said, "This is where the leak is. It has something to do with this." So he searched around. He listened. He just listened for the leak. He found it. He had to bust a hole in our little driveway, and he found it. He fixed it. I think he was done in maybe about like an hour and a half or something like that.
It was about 2 hours.
Yeah, because there was a thunderstorm coming.
Yeah.
So he was trying to help him get out of there. The guy was great. He spoke a little English. I wish I should have got his card just so in case I had a friend that needed him or something. But he fixed the problem and done.
This plumber was very efficient. Found the problem, fixed the problem. The cost of what we pay for water here in Cuenca versus Salinas is less than.
And you can drink it. You can't even drink the water in Salinas. That's a whole nother issue. But yeah, paying a little bit less, and you can actually drink the water if you want.
Now, if you're living in a condo or some houses, they may have the same setup like we did in Salinas, where the gas is coming through the unit. We do pay for gas cylinders, and they vary, depending on who you're using, because there are different companies that sell these. We pay around $3.25 for a gas cylinder, and it usually lasts about a month, depending on how often. Our cylinder supplies the hot water, the cooking.
We also have a separate cylinder for our dryer. That one lasts
much longer
because we don't use it nearly as often. But the gas cylinders, the people that sell them, they drive around neighborhoods every day. You can't get away from them. So if you need one, you can get one pretty fast.
So if you add in the cost of the gas cylinder and the water, I guess it's about almost close to what we're paying in Salinas.
Yeah, so you think about $20
so
all together for a month.
So really no difference. Yeah. Just a couple of dollars saved.
Yeah, here or there.
Yeah. Now, so we covered the utilities and the cost of living. Now let's get to food, groceries.
Yeah, there's a couple of other things you forgot. One, utilities, cell phone usage. Now that hasn't really changed for us.
No.
From one to the other. So like it's cell phone usage is affordable here in the country, and internet.
The internet.
In our condo, our internet was included in our rent. Mm-hmm. Where we live now, we pay for the internet. However, I do know how much the internet was at our condo. It was like $40-ish a month. Here it's less. We pay like 20 something. So here for internet, we pay around like 20. It's less than $30 a month. Internet's pretty fast here, so there's really no issues with it. Internet is one of those things that it just depends on where you live in the country and what service you use. It's still pretty affordable no matter where you are.
So it was included in our cost, like Steve said. So we paid, there's an out-of-pocket expense now. So when it comes to utilities, we kind of break even, give or take. It's not outrageous. So we do kind of even out.
Yeah, it just evens out because of the cost that we pay for internet here, and it was included in our rent there. Yeah. Other utilities just kind of balance out. So it's about the same.
Now, as far as rent, we do pay, like we say, 30% less. Now, going into groceries, because people want to know, does it cost more here in Cuenca than it did in Salinas?
It's comparable when it comes to prices of food.
So groceries are about the same. We can't say it costs more or less. We do, I will say, do not go to the grocery store as much as we did in Salinas. And why is that?
Honestly, I think that because of where we lived on the Malecon and like how easy it was to kind of sometimes just go to the grocery store. Like we would go to the movies and we would go to the grocery store after the movies. Like it was like a convenience thing. And sometimes we would spend a little, probably too much. Yeah. Honestly, at the grocery stores, as opposed to maybe going to some of the mercados here. It's different.
We have more access to mercados than we do we have access to the grocery store. We just choose not to go
as often.
Yeah. We just go to the mercados.
There's so many mercados around here in Cuenca that it just makes it so much easier. And we've kind of gotten better after being in the country for going on 3 years. We've just gotten better at stuff we don't need to buy. We were just kind of buying it just to fill up a refrigerator and a cabinet For what?
We like to snack.
Yeah,
we
but
cut
like
back
there's
on
only
snacks.
so much snacking you can do.
We've cut back on the snacks. So our grocery cost has reduced. But we will say eating out has increased.
Yeah.
Because we have more access with Petty Dosia.
Yeah.
We have more access to order food online than we did in Salinas.
Yeah, you could do it in Salinas. You know, don't get us wrong. There's just a lot more options here, and sometimes we're out, you know, for a large portion of the day.
Yeah,
and we come back like, oh, let's just order some food.
It's much
so
more
fast.
Convenient.
Yeah.
So we will say eating out, our expense has increased.
Right, because we used to cook a lot more in Salinas for whatever reason.
The next thing is medical costs. The medical cost is about the same if you're paying out of pocket. If you're paying out of pocket to see a private doctor, it can vary between $25 and $40. Consider it as a copay, but it's the actual cost.
In our experience,
it's seeing a doctor. Now, the same medical insurance, you can get private insurance, public insurance, all of that is the same. Yeah. It costs the same, depending on what type of insurance you want, what type of deductible,
how much coverage you need, stuff like that.
So that is the same. That hasn't changed.
Like dental, we've done dental stuff here and in Salinas, and they're about the same. Most costs between here and the coast in Salinas are generally the same. But when it comes to our budget, I think, you know, being here is perhaps saving us. Well, it definitely is saving us some money. So another way that we save money here in Cuenca is transportation. We did ride the bus quite a bit in Salinas. But that being said, like, you know, we still had to take taxis in a lot of places, especially coming back home. And we kind of do that somewhat here, but we've actually even gotten better. So in the past 3 months we've been here, we've reduced our taxi usage quite a bit. So there is more access to transportation here. Like, the taxis are always available. There's the Tranvia and the buses. You can pretty much get anywhere. We've gotten really good. It took about a month or so before we were just able to kind of like put down the Move It app, unless we're going somewhere we hadn't been before. And we know what bus to hop on to get to where we need to go, to and from home. We know what stops to go to now without having to look it up, depending on where we are. We're like, oh, we know the stop around the corner. We can go there and go home. That has helped us tremendously. You know, we put a little bit of money on our cards, and it lasts, you know, quite a while. I think we've only recharged our bus cards once
since we've been here.
Right, and we haven't recharged our Tranvia card yet. But it was a while before we got that to begin with. So
basically, can you live in Cuenca, let's just say $1,000 or less? Yeah, it's doable.
Yeah, especially a single person.
Depending on where you want to stay. It is doable if you want to live in Cuenca on a budget of $1,000 or less. You can definitely live in Cuenca on $3,000 or less.
$1,500, yeah.
And it, like we said, it depends on where you want to live, what you want to do, because there are a lot of things you can do here.
There's a lot of access.
In Cuenca, entertainment-wise. You have to understand, as far as entertainment-wise, they have theaters, they have the movies, they have a lot of things going on. Some of these things cost from $2 to $15, $20.
Yeah.
Now, if you're here, you want to take English class. That varies depending on who's offering those classes. Yeah. They can go from $60 to $100 and some dollars, depending on who, you know, access, who's offering.
I find somebody to do it for $10. You never know.
So you can incorporate that into your budget. What else? We don't go to the movies.
Well, and that's only because they don't offer English movies like we were able to get in Salinas.
And that was a reason why. There was an expat who had a connection with the movie manager or the movie theater who offered English movies on Tuesdays for certain for expats.
Right. But the other side of that is that same theater also offered, like, the bigger movies. They had English versions. The bigger American movies, they had English versions, but they wouldn't play until like 8 o'clock at night.
If you're in Cuenca and you know they offer English speaking movies at certain times, please drop a comment in the below and let us know.
I know I checked.
I think he probably looked at
I got to see Superman when it comes out, and I might have to go to another city to watch it.
No, he's not. That's not happening. So what we're saying is very doable to live in Cuenca on $1,000 or less, if that is your choice. If you want to live higher than that, you can. Then that's just based off of our experience.
Yeah.
That is doable. If you choose to do that, you can live live here for less. So, if anyone's looking to move to Ecuador, there are different places. And the budget you want to live off of is very doable.
Right. And it depends on, what kind of city you want to live in, or town. Because some of those places might be smaller towns. You may get much cheaper rent than we pay.
Yeah.
And, you may get more space, but you may not have the same access to whether it be groceries or just certain amenities that you might want.
Let's just
shopping
say,
is what I meant.
You may be able to find something here way less.
Oh, absolutely.
Way less. And it could be a nicer space, just depending on where the location is. Which, if you want to take the bus, if you want to pay a taxi, all of that.
If you want to be near a transit line, that's another thing that you may have to keep in mind. Because are you going to need a vehicle? Or are you going to need to pay taxes to get into town? Depending on how far out you live, especially like here in Cuenca.
Yeah, because you can live on the outskirts, and it can take you 15 to 20 minutes to get to a bus line or the train. Right. You have to pay a taxi to get there, and then take from there.
It adds to your cost. So it depends on you got to factor in everything. If you're by yourself, definitely like she said, $1,000. Like you can live pretty good for $1,000 if you're by yourself. If it's a couple, you got to start thinking about other things that you might need. That's going to cost you a little more.
Yeah, you may want that extra room.
You might need an extra bathroom. Like absolutely, you know what I'm saying?
So that cost can rise, and sometimes you can find a 2 and 3 bedroom still under $500. Just depends on where it is. So if you're thinking about moving to Ecuador, it's very doable. Just do your research. Yeah. Do your research, and you can find that dream place.
Yeah.
If you look hard enough.
It doesn't even have to be a dream place. It just got to be something that's fine for you in the lifestyle that you want to have. And if you're coming here, for retirement, and just relaxing is the most important thing to you, not having stress, then you can definitely find that. If you come here for work, you can find that too.
So if you're looking for mountain view, there's a lot of mountain view condos here that you can get a spectacular mountain view with a nice balcony, modern kitchen, bathroom, whatever you're looking for. It's available.
Yeah. Just check your budget. That's the most important thing. What is your budget?
So again, there are places here living under a certain budget, living on a certain budget is definitely doable depending on what you're looking for. So that is our little tip
a little bit of advice, a little budgetary stuff
on how we went from living on a particular budget in Salinas and reduced that budget by moving to Cuenca. And we're very comfortable and we're happy where we are. We have no complaints.
And get to save a little money, so that's always good.
Always good. And in the next couple of years, we find something better.
We'll do that too.
So thank you again for watching. Hope this information is very helpful to you. If you have any questions, please leave us a comment below. Like, share, subscribe, and hope to see you next time. Bye.